Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be comparing two very similar phones. Going to be comparing the specifications and doing a couple of quick tests. So on the left we have the Vernee Mix 2, which comes in at the moment on GearBest at £145. On the right we have the UMIDIGI S2, which again comes in at £145 on GearBest. Okay, to start, I'm just going to do a quick boot test, see which phone boots up the fastest. And the UMIDIGI S2 just about beats it there, booting up the fastest. So let's firstly go through the build and the sort of dimensions of both of these phones. So the Vernee Mix 2 height comes in at 157mm and the UMIDIGI S2 is 158. We come to width. Vernee Mix 2 is 75mm wide and the UMIDIGI S2 is 74. So it's still very close. Thickness. Vernee Mix 2 is 7.6mm and the UMIDIGI S2 is 8.8. But because I've held both of these phones and been using them, Vernee Mix 2 for me does feel thicker, and I was quite surprised that it wasn't. So it's sort of a little bit difficult to see, but you can just make out the Digi S2 is slightly thicker. Okay, so in terms of weight, the Vernee Mix 2 is 195 grams, whereas the UMIDIGI S2 is 186. Okay, so when it comes to the screen, pretty much identical. They're both 6-inch and 18:9 ratio. 1080p display on the Vernee Mix 2, but the Digi S2 is only 720p. So the Vernee Mix 2 has the bigger chin and the UMIDIGI S2 has the bigger forehead. The wallpaper on the UMIDIGI S2 blends in with the forehead at the top, so it's difficult to see. But when you change the wallpaper, like on here, you can just see the top now, the forehead. So the forehead and the chin are probably identical in terms of size, whereas the Vernee Mix 2 has a bigger chin, but the forehead is rather small. Okay, so the design, the Vernee Mix 2, as you may as well know, has a front and back glass, which is stunning. It really is. Has a metal frame around the body. Obviously it depends what sort of design you like or prefer, but there's no doubt about the quality and design of the Vernee Mix 2. It is excellent. If you compare that to the UMIDIGI, obviously they have a glass front, which is Corning Gorilla Glass 4, but they have gone for the full metal body, which again looks absolutely stunning as well, and the red makes it even better. But it's just personal taste, what you prefer really. This is a nice finish, so is the Vernee Mix 2, but full metal body, and that's glass front and back with a metal frame. So both phones offer exactly the same in terms of SIM trays. They can both hold 2 nano SIMs or 1 nano SIM and SD card. Okay, so both the phones have fingerprint sensors and both of them are supposed to unlock in quick time. The Vernee Mix 2 fingerprint sensor is a little bit bigger than the UMIDIGI S2. See if I can find them both at the same time. Yes, that was a draw. Ooh. UMIDIGI S2 I think is slightly quicker. Good. Right, I'm going to do best of 3 starting from now. Oh, S2. That's a draw. I'm going to give it a draw. They're both quick in unlocking. Okay, so let's get to the really important specifications of these phones. Let's start with the Vernee Mix 2. The Vernee Mix 2 has a Helio P25 processor clocked at 2.5 GHz. The UMIDIGI S2 has a Helio P20 clocked at 2.3 GHz, so slightly more processing power in the Vernee Mix 2. So the Vernee Mix 2 and the Digi S2 both have 4 GB of RAM, and they both have 64 GB of storage. GPU, both have the Mali T880, and playing games on both is no problem at all. They are pretty much on par. Both of these phones are 4G, and in the UK you do get 4G coverage pretty much everywhere I've been, and I'm also running EE. It also works on O2 and 3, which I've tested. So Android version, the Vernee Mix 2 has Android 7, whereas the UMIDIGI S2 is only running Android 6, which is a little bit disappointing. I'd at least expect that to be an Android 7. Okay, so I did run 2 tests, the Antutu benchmark on both of these phones. The Vernee Mix 2, like I said, has a slightly faster clock speed on the CPU. So let's show you the results on the UMIDIGI S2. The UMIDIGI S2 got 61,996. Did the Vernee Mix 2 beat it, or did it lose? The Vernee Mix 2 got 62,565, so there's not much in it at all. I just want to point this out while I'm here. I've just lined the screens up so the glass display is level. On the Vernee Mix 2, the navigation bar cannot be hidden and it's quite thick, whereas the UMIDIGI S2, which I quite like, is quite streamlined, it's thinner, and you can also hide it as well. So you do seem to get a little bit more room on the screen than you would do on the Vernee Mix 2. So we've covered the important specs and the Antutu benchmark test. Let's do a very quick test in navigating to Google Play Store and installing an application. Okay, so let's try and download and install Snapchat. Both phones are on the wireless here at home, and I'm on the very top floor in the house on the 2nd floor. S2 slightly quicker. Okay, so let's go ahead and install. Accept. Okay, both start off quickly. So the Vernee Mix 2 is started installing. Okay, they're both installing. And the Vernee Mix 2 has just come out on top, which does make sense with having a slightly faster processor. The S2 is still lagging behind a little bit. And there we go, the Digi S2 just comes in after. Okay, so let's talk about the battery. The Vernee Mix 2 has a 4,200 milliamp battery, whereas the Digi S2 has a 5,100 milliamp battery. So I've tested both of these batteries, and the UMIDIGI S2 is definitely better, and it outperforms the Vernee Mix 2 quite a bit. Here are some screenshots. So the Vernee Mix 2, I got 6 hours and 29 minutes on screen time, and that at that moment I had 1% battery left. Now the other night, the UMIDIGI S2, it still had 11% left at 20 past 11 in the evening, and I had 7 hours and 16 minutes. So I had maybe another hour probably of on-screen time left, but it just goes to show there that the Digi S2 definitely outperforms the Vernee Mix 2 in battery. Okay, let's get on to the final part, which is the cameras. The Vernee Mix 2 and the Digi S2 both have the same Sony sensor. That's the Sony IMX258. Both are dual cameras, and both have a rear camera of 13 megapixel plus the 5 megapixel lens. Both these phones also shoot 1080p video on the rear, and both have flashlights. I'm going to show you one picture here side by side, which I've took earlier on, Vernee Mix 2 and the UMIDIGI S2. Let me know which one you prefer. For me, I think I prefer the Digi S2. The Vernee Mix 2 does have a natural look to it, but I also think it does look a little bit on the dull side, whereas the UMIDIGI S2 does look a lot more vibrant, more full of life. I think Digi S2 has slightly better detail overall. So when you look at them both here through the camera, you can see the S2 does have more colour, does look more vibrant, The Vernee Mix 2 does look more natural but on the dull side. It's just personal preference which one you prefer, but for me I do prefer the S2's picture. Okay, so have a look at the front facing cameras on both of these phones. The Vernee Mix 2 has an 8 megapixel front facing camera, as the Digi S2 has a 5 megapixel front facing camera. The Vernee Mix 2 shoots front facing video at 480p and the UMIDIGI S2 shoots at 1080p, which I was quite surprised. Here is a front facing picture which I took earlier on, looking super happy there. And as you can tell, again, the UMIDIGI S2 looks more vibrant, better colours. The Vernee Mix 2 does have more of a natural look about it, but does look slightly washed out. In terms of detail, not much between them. There's not much between them at all. I think on the video here it looks like the Vernee Mix 2 is slightly better. I can't call it, it's really a tough one. If you do want to see more detailed review of the cameras of both of these phones, you can see the Vernee Mix 2 review, and my review of the UMIDIGI S2 will be coming soon as well. So guys, that concludes my comparison, the Vernee Mix 2 and the UMIDIGI S2. I hope this video has helped you out. You might have been considering buying either of these phones. It is a tough one to call. I'd like to know your thoughts below. Overall, I think I might prefer the S2, but I think the main thing that swings it for me is the battery life on the S2 and slightly better camera quality too. So for me, the UMIDIGI S2 slightly wins. Let me know your thoughts below, and there are links in the description, affiliate links if you want to take a look at them. Any purchases, I do get a small commission which helps me provide more videos for you. Any questions, like I said, please comment below. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.